Hello guys and welcome back. In this video we will make a tab bar layout in Jetpack Compose. So let's create our project. So let's say new project and select the empty compose activity and let's call it tab. I'm just going to call it tab app compose and click the finish button. So the studio is ready for coding. So let's create a Kotlin file where we can put all our components. So let's do that. New Kotlin class and make sure to choose file, not class. And I will say, let's call it tab. So here we need to first declare an enum class. So I will say private enum class because we need to have two tabs. So we will store our tabs here in our enum class. So I will say tab page and let's call it home and office. We need to remove this equal sign. So we have created two tabs for home and office. Now I am going to create a function for the tab. So I will say at composable function tab and it's going to need some parameters. So the first thing will be icon. So icons, and it's going to be of type image vector. So choose this one, androidx.compose.ui.graphics.vector. And the second parameter we need is the title. So I'm going to say title and it's going to be of type string. And third is a function which will be on click. So on click and it's going to be a type of unit. So I'm just going to say unit to handle the clicks. So we can select one tab or another tab. And after that, after on click, we need the modifier. So let's say modifier equals of type modifier equals modifier. Now in this function we need a row. So a row basically lets you place your components horizontally. So row. So inside row we need to make it clickable. So I will say modifier equals modifier dot clickable and we need the small braces. So small braces and here I will say on click equals and I'm going to pass the on click method that we created earlier on click and then need to pass and need to make it need to align it vertically and horizontally. So I will say dot not fill mix size. I will say dot horizontal. Let's give it some padding value. So I will say padding 16.dp. Need to import the dp. Then I'm going to align it in the center horizontally and vertically. So I will say horizontal arrangement and I will say arrangement dot center and then to align vertically I will say vertical alignment and alignment dot center vertically. Now in this row we need to define our icons and texts. So let's define the icon first. So I will say icon, and we need the, where did it go, image vector, the first one, icon image vector, and I will say icon. I will just pass the icon that we created here, and for content description I can pass null. It's not necessary to pass the content description. After that we need to create some space between icon and text, so we can use spacer for that. So spacer modifier, and then we will fill some width. So modifier dot width, and I will say 16.dp, and after that we can place our text. So text, and we can say text equals title, which again we created earlier, and let's give it a color. So I will say color equals colors, let's make it white because it's a text. And yeah, this is the tab function. Now we need a function for our tab indicator to store the positions of the tab. So let's create another function. So let's say add composable. I will say private function tab indicator. Let pass the parameters. So tab positions, POSITI, tab positions, and which is going to be of type list. And in this list we can pass the tab position class androidx.compose.material. So the tab position, so this first parameter is a tab position, and this class consists the information about a tab position screen, and it is used for calculating to where to place the indicators, and which show that you know which tab is selected. And the second parameter is the tab page itself. So I will say tab page, and we can pass the tab page that we created our enum class in the beginning. So I can say tab page, and after that we need to create this function. So this function will just hold these two value. We are not going to create inside anything it, we don't need it. Now we need another function to create the tab bar itself. So I will say at composable private function tab bar, and it's going to take some parameter as well. So first thing is the background color. I will say background CO color, which is going to be type of color. So we can choose the androidx.compose.ui.graphics, and the second parameter is going to be the tab page. So I will say tab page, and I can pass the tab page itself. And the third parameter is going to be on tab selected, to basically change the tab. So on tab selected, which is going to be of type tab page, and let's pass the tab page. and it's going to be a unit type. So unit just means that it does not return anything. And yeah, let's create it. There is a typo mistake here, so GRO, yeah, and the typo is gone. So here we need to define a tab row which displays all the tabs in a set, and they are the best for switching between tabs. So let's create our tab row. So tab row, and here it's asking for the index, so we can say tab page dot ordinal. So the ordinal is a data type of type int, and it's return the enum constant which start from 0. So to return these two values we will use the ordinal. Okay, and now the second parameter we need is the background color. So I will say background color and then pass it to background color. Look like some mistake here, typo again. Okay, we need this one. So background color, and initialize it to this background color, and after that we need to pass the indicator. So let's do that. Indicator, and here you can say tab positions. So this one, the second one, pass it, and it's require a lambda function. So you can say tab positions equals lambda, and then you can pass this tab indicator function itself. So tab indicator, and for tab positions, let's say we don't need to initialize it here, so we can just say tab positions, and here we can say tab page, and now we need to declare the two tab inside this tab row itself. So here we can say tab, which we created the first function, yeah, and for icon we can say icons, this one, androidx.compose.material.icons default home. We are going to select the home menu, and for title we can say home, and for on click we can say tab page dot home. And let's do again for our office tab. So let's say tab icons, so icons dot default dot there is a account box icon, we can use it for office, and for title we can say office, and on click we can pass the office tab page, so we can say tab page dot office. And so this is our tab bar function. Now we need a main function where we can put all of these things together and can call it from our on create method. So let's do that. So let's say add composable function main. Let's start with the capital M, because I think the small main is a reserve keyword. And here we need to initialize our tab page. So I'm going to say var tab page, and I'm going to use the remember function. So to use remember function, we say by remember. Let's use this one, calculations, and here we can say mutable state of, and you can pass the value here. So I will say tab page dot home, and we need to import this mutable state of. So let's do that. Import get value and mutable state of, and yeah, I think we need to import something else as well. Okay, we need to import the runtime to use the remember function. So let's do that. And yeah, so that's how we set the default tab page, the home page. So the remember functions remember the value, produced by the calculation, and this mutable state of is the calculation. So the mutable state of is a class that can hold a single value at any given time. So that's why it is best to use this mutable state of, because you only want one tab selected at one time. Now we need to set the colors for our background. So I will say val background color, and here I will say if. So we are going to use if else statement. So if tab page equals tab page dot home, then we will say purple 200. We need to put the color outside of this if else if statement. So I will say purple and use the 200, else we can use the teal color. So teal 200. So the color we are using it here in the themes. So in themes we can go to colors, and here we are using these two color for the tabs. So you can declare any other color if you want. So you can use the hex color, the hex number. Just make sure to prefix it with 0xff, these four items or letters, whatever you call it, to change it into ARGB, because the Jetpack compose take ARGB colors and not the RGB colors. So to convert it into ARGB, you need to use this prefix. So yeah, that was for the color. After that, we need to use a scaffold where we can put our app bar or tab bar. So again, scaffold is a component which provides API, to put together, construct your screen. Like if you want to use a top app bar or a bottom app bar, or like a floating action app bar. So scaffold is the component that provides the structure to use this component. So we will use the scaffold, and here I will say top app bar, and then we need to pass our app bar. So I will say tab 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 page, or sorry, no, we need to pass my tab bar which I created. Yeah, this one. So tab bar, and set the background color to background color, tab page to tab page. We can change the line from here. On tab selected, we can say curly braces, tab page equals it, and it's giving me some error. Do I need to surround it with lambda? Yeah. So that's it for our main function. Now we just need to call this main function in our main activity. So here I will remove this greeting function and just call the main function, which should have able to call it, but what happened? Oh yeah, I have to call it from the capital M, and let's run it and see if our tab app working or not. So you can see that our app has been launched, and we can see the two tabs here, the home and the office, and it's not changing the color actually. So let me see what went wrong. So I will come back in a moment. Okay, so here on click I forget to pass this on tab selected function, so that's why I was unable to change the tab. So here we need to say on tab selected, yeah, and then we need to pass the tab page dot home, and we can do the same in this tab. So we can say on tab selected and pass the tab page dot office inside the small braces. Now it should run perfectly. So as you can see, now we are able to change the color, and we are also able to change the tab. So that was it for this video, guys, and if you like the video, then please hit the like button and subscribe the channel. Goodbye and take care.